Shemu'ėl Aleph, 1 Samuel chapter 31. And the Philistines were fighting against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell slain on Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard after Shaul and his sons, and the Philistines struck Jehonathan, and Abinadab, and Malchishua, sons of Shaul. And the battle went hard against Shaul, and the archers hit him, so that he was severely wounded by the archers. And Shaul said to his armor-bearer, Draw your sword and thrust me through with it, lest these uncircumcised men come and thrust me through, and roll themselves on me. But his armor-bearer would not, for he was greatly afraid. So Shaul took the sword and fell on it. And when his armor-bearer saw that Shaul was dead, he also fell on his sword and died with him. Thus Shaul died, and 3 of his sons, and his armor-bearer, also all his men together on that day. And they saw, the men of Israel who were beyond the valley, and those who were beyond the Jordan, that the men of Israel had fled, and that Shaul and his sons were dead. So they forsook the cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. And the next day it came to be, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Shaul and his 3 sons fallen on Mount Gilboa. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor, and sent word throughout the land of the Philistines to announce in it the house of their idols and to the people. And they placed his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bethshan. And the inhabitants of Yabesh Gilead heard what the Philistines had done to Shaul. And all the brave men arose and went all night, and took the body of Shaul and the bodies of his sons from the wall of Bethshan. And they came to Yabesh and burned them there. And they took their bones and buried them under the tamarisk tree at Yabesh, and fasted for 7 days.